What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing?
Hi
Jason,
guys.
Jason Alexander, Blue Moon Neptune here with my favorite astrologer, Emily. How you doing, Emily?
I'm doing so good. Today is so good.
Guys, today we got a special day. We got a new moon party. We got a Lionsgate manifestation party. It's going to be lit. And we're going to be doing some live price action, which we haven't done on this channel since like the very beginning. So that's pretty fun.
I'm really excited about that, especially because we have such good price action to watch today.
Yes. Right on time. Right on that new moon energy. That's like absolutely beautiful. I know the MoonLords are feeling this. Speaking of the MoonLords, what's up, Joey? Nice to see you here. Joey just had a new moon for him because he's a Leo rising, so he has the energy of this new moon, especially right now. Diamond Co Jones, he's one of the original MoonLords. What's up, homie? Who else is in here? Misty, what's up? How you guys doing? Chris, Christina Arnold, what's up? What's up? Long time no see. Okay, so Joey Co Jones, let's see what he says. This is Jacob. We wake up singing. Yes, after the squeeze, we'll be waking up blinging. The microphone ringing, and it's calling me. It's calling me too. I cannot wait. Cannot wait to get back in the studio. We have so many moon lords that like music. That's how I know I'm with the right people because I'm a huge music fan. Huge music fan. So that's what's up. I hope the people who do music with the moon lords will all make a song together one day. That would be dope. So dope. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So, Emily, tell us about today. Tell us about the Lionsgate, because that's what we're very excited about.
About the Lionsgate.
Mm-hmm.
So this just came into me from one of my followers who was clued into it before, and we were just talking about how crazy that was because Joey over on his own was figuring all about like this manifestation portal that was about to be open. And basically, this is something that happens every 8th day of the 8th month, which was yesterday, August 8th. The Lionsgate is technically open for longer than that. I think it's open from like late July, the 28th or something like that, to like the 13th of August. But that day is when it's at its peak because the star Sirius, one of the fixed stars, is the closest that it gets to the Earth. So we can like witness it and behold its glory as it comes in. So supposedly the veils between the worlds are really thin right now. And whatever you set loose on this day is going to be like the manifestation that is going to be like predominantly taking over your existence until the next Lionsgate.
Right, and
That's as I understand it anyways.
right, and what's really cool about this Lionsgate that's more significant than most Lionsgates is it actually happened on the actual new moon. Okay, that doesn't really happen on a new moon. So to have the Lionsgate opening, the portal, and the new moon at the same time, this is huge. I mean, extremely huge manifestation energy. And Leo's all about following your heart, following that energy, that primal energy you have. So if you guys believe in the AMC squeeze, the only energy you guys should have behind it is it's already in my pocket. I already got it. I'm already killing it. Okay, because that's when my magic works the most is when I'm truly feeling it. And we got a lot of time today, so I'm just gonna go on a quick little story about magic. But one day I hurt my back, and I was like, shit, I need my fucking back roller. I need to roll my back out, right? You guys know what I'm talking about when you roll the back out?
Like the foam things?
Right. And I was like feeling the need of my roller because I was in real pain. And literally, I was like, I had to get up to ask my girlfriend for it. I didn't feel like getting up, but I was like, ugh, I gotta get up. Let me go into the kitchen, find her where she was. Laundry room, probably she loves to do laundry. And as soon as I opened the door, she had it in her hand, and it wasn't for me. She was just putting it away. And I was like, what the fuck just happened, right? And it wasn't a coincidence. It was like I truly had the energy of needing the roller with physical, emotional, spiritual, like the whole nine. And then it just literally just popped up in front of me. Manifestation, that's how it works, okay? So if you guys want the squeeze to happen, the energy needs to be the money's already in my pocket. The money is already in my bank, all right? And if you truly believe it, if you truly have that energy, that's how the magic works. That's how the manifestation works. The more you believe, the more you achieve, okay? What do you think about that, Emily?
You're getting me so excited. I was already so stoked this morning. I just woke up and I was like, this is going to be such a big day. And I didn't even know why. But I like actually had very little caffeine today to keep myself from running off to the races, but I can't help it. Because when these stocks start moving like they're moving, and especially when this crew of people comes together, it's so energizing. Every time we do this, I just feel like electrified from like the base of my spine. And I can't believe that we've been talking about this since last night and already we're like here watching like the best thing that we would ever want to be watching.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
both of them are just doing so well.
Yep, AMC is at what? Almost 4% on the
33.93.
Yeah, almost 4% on the day, and GameStop was just making a huge move, hitting 8% on the day. Wow! So that, guys, you guys know how I am. We need the confirmation of the reversal on these new moons, full moons, and I would pretty much say this is a pretty good look of confirmation that we're getting that reverse for this new moon. And you guys heard in my video, AMC wise, Emily is officially the crypto astrologer and the GameStop astrologer. I'm calling it out because you guys, the ones that were here on the last live stream, like what was that, like a month ago? You killed that reading on the crypto and GameStop reverses. Like that was like perfect.
This is one that I am so grateful is at least showing, is at least coming a little bit true, because I would have felt real crazy, like real crazy. I saw it in so many different places. And I'm so grateful that I had you there to like walk me through every step of it and like get it strength tested before it went out, because it just made me crazy.
Yeah.
Until I finally got it out there. But I will say that I've been going back through like now that I finally had that in one piece, and I think I really underestimated some of AMC's advantages going into these cycles too, though. I think losing Jupiter in Pisces is kind of a deal, but I think this period of Mercury, their time lord, going into Virgo in exaltation and domicile is going to bring some really big stuff. Like August just looks a lot bigger for AMC for different reasons than other months, but they're both doing so well.
Yeah, yeah. And for anyone who, because I'm getting some, I must say, people aren't really hating on me anymore when my predictions don't come right. And I appreciate you guys. I feel like I got my like true believers, and the MoonLords know like sometimes things are going to play out perfectly. We're using the stars as another tool for our analysis, okay? But I've been getting a lot of, okay, Jason, when is it going to squeeze? Stop doing the weekly thing. Just tell us when it's going to squeeze. And I actually don't know. I just know I believe in the squeeze, okay? And I'm going to manifest it just through my belief. But don't be surprised if we're here until 2022, guys. Don't be surprised. The stars look amazing for AMC for March of 2022. I'm gonna keep saying that. Just like me, and I know Jacob remembers this at the very beginning, and so does Purely Unbounded. John, what's up? You guys, we're all looking at that May 26th eclipse like 4 months, 5 months before it happened. Okay, so here we are again, looking 6 months ahead of time and saying, hey, this looks good. So I'm telling you, March looks really good. I'm prepared to hold that long if I have to hold that long. And just, food for thought, if we have to hold that long, we get to make a lot more money, saving money through the taxes. So keep that in mind. But today, let's focus on this new moon. Let's focus on the Lionsgate portal. Let's focus on our manifestation. If you guys are feeling the energy, go ahead and hit that like button. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Okay, so we just had a Leo full moon, or new moon. So let's talk about just what that means in general for the whole world. What do you think?
Yeah, so we had so much Leo energy that was released into Leo new moons are always kind of amazing to me because Leo is a domicile of one of the luminaries. And when both the sun and the moon are in Leo, I think it's an extra special sort of powerful thing. But this is keeping on an axis that we've been working through a lot lately. Fixed sign energy has really been getting a lot of pings, and Leo is some of the warmest fixed sign energy that anybody can access. So it's probably not a surprise that everybody's feeling like a little bit more optimistic and a little bit more social and ready to just kind of like suspend disbelief and like manifest together in the chat. Like all of these like sort of creative and very generous energies are Leo energies. It's a time to set loose like what, I'm trying to think of how to say this, how you want to make other people feel, like how you want your like human performance to come across your audience. If you're looking for an actual audience, this is a good time to go look for it and set some of those manifestations loose. But everybody loves Leo energy. Like, it just feels too good. It's like a warm breeze when you're hanging out in it. Everybody loves it, even if they don't want to admit it. This should be really like revitalizing to most people.
Yeah, and one thing I want to say about Leo, because people have this wrong about Leos. Not everybody, but it's a common one. People think Leos are really stuck up, or they're like really hard headed, or they're full of themselves, or they're scary. Some people find Leos scary, and Leos to me are like one of the most beautiful signs of the zodiac. And you have to think about the Leo as like the lion or the cat. Okay, the cats are very playful. The lions are very playful. They're very chill beings. They want to take care of their family and lead their pack, and just kind of lounge on the rock and be in nice harmony with the jungle. But if you get in Leo's way, or if it's time for Leo to hunt, that's when they show their teeth. But other than that, Leo's actually a very playful energy. It's it's the ruler of the fifth house of children, creativity, and Leos are children-like beings. Okay, and they like to have fun. They like to just like be playful. Okay, so during this time, during the Leo new moon, I do challenge you guys just to have fun a little bit, just to be a little playful, hang out with the family. Don't take things so seriously. But what you do want to take seriously is following your heart. Okay, that's what the lion does. It follows its own path, beats to its own drum, and it follows its heart. And that's really what it's about: following your heart, following what you believe in, and staying true to that. Okay, because the lion isn't gonna, have a couple bad days and never want to go back to hunting again. You feel me? Okay, so this Leo new moon, especially since it's a fixed sign, and that means it's the second fire sign of the zodiac, and any of the second signs of the element means it's fixation, meaning it's a more stubborn, permanent like energy. Okay, new moon is new beginnings, to make wishes for the next phase into the full moon, right? So really think about everything you guys want on these phases and visualize that, because it's fire and that's about visualization. Really visualize it and really make it concrete in your mind, and the manifestation will be just as much stronger for that. Okay? Now, if there are any Leos in the building, go ahead and let us know so we can shout you guys out. I know Joey just had a Leo new moon in his first house, so that's awesome. Now, Emily, what are you thinking about how we're going to manifest this energy for this stream?
I was just thinking about how like that is everything you were saying about Leo and those qualities, how that looks to us like after we get through this, because so many of us are working so hard for this. Like, we have been working so hard, making sure that we're passing due diligence around, making sure that we're doing the astro. We've started communities to support each other, but we don't get to spend a lot of time just like playing anymore, I guess. Like, we always used to have these big like what I'm gonna do, like when I have the MOASS hashtags going through and like what this means to me and all that kind of stuff. And I love that. I love when Trey used to stream like price action and we'd all just be sitting there having the same experience, and every time it like shot up while we were having that, those parts, I think that energy, that same thing that like makes you feel like you're so alive and you're getting to experience something that a lot of other people never will. I think that's the energy that you tap into for this Leo stuff. I think that's what you try to hold on to and keep manufacturing like through good and bad, honestly, because it's not just about when you're getting it green. It matters even more when it's red, if you ask me, because that's when you can like tear down all that faith and all that belief so quickly if you give into it. Like, you really have to like fight back against all that pessimism every single time and choose a high vibe thought,
Yeah, the lion isn't giving up out here, that's for sure.
Nope.
The lion's
not going to change its nature.
Joey can tell us that. Alicia could tell us that. Another Leo rising in the building. And Saturn Solstice can definitely tell us that, because she has a Leo stellium.
Yes.
Birthday.
She's the expert on the subject.
Yes, happy birthday. That's amazing. By the way, if anyone wants to join, we're not going to really do like focus on live readings. It's more of a what's your input on anything you guys want to say, and if you guys do want us to look at your chart real quick, we'll take a slight peek, but we're gonna keep this stream more chill than usual and just kind of have a conversation with everybody. Okay, so if anyone wants to join the conversation, go ahead and join us on Zoom, and we'll get you guys in here for a few minutes for show. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and just look at the overall stars for the day. Who's calling me? Okay. I think we have a lot of Leo energy in the air, don't we?
We really do. GameStop is going again. Ooh.
Yep. 160.
Is AMC too?
It's looking like it's getting ready. It's above the VWAP. It's above the 200 MA. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
that's a lot of. Ooh. It was just at 111 for gains. Like when I clicked onto it, it had like 111 in gain for the day. I was like, that means something.
Okay, so let's see. Now the moon officially went into Virgo. So this is good. I like Virgo energy because Virgo. I actually said this in my in the video for the update. You know, whatever happens today, this Virgo energy is going to stabilize it. So I do see the uptrend keep going into tomorrow and the next day. Okay. Okay, so we got the Sun in Leo, we got Mercury in Leo. Okay, so again, Mercury is how we process information and how we communicate. So Mercury in Leo literally is about following your heart, guys. Okay, literally about following your heart and really being in tune with your heart's desire. Okay, so if anything isn't really looking the way you want it to, you can really start really making solid plans to make it look the way you want it to. Okay, especially since Mercury is going into those final degrees of Leo, so you're really going to be able to know what your heart wants. Then when the Mercury goes into Virgo, its home sign, you're really going to be able to manifest those plans even better. Now we got the Sun 7 degrees Leo. It's square Uranus. So to me, Uranus is all about your uniqueness and being a rebel for that, being a pioneer for the future, and it's a square to the sun. So the universe is actually challenging us to own our uniqueness, own what we're trying to prepare for in the future, destroy the old and build a better future. That's what Uranus wants to do. What do you think about that, Emily? You agree with that?
Totally.
Yep. And let's see what we have. Wow, we got a lot of Virgo energy coming in. That's a lot. So we got the moon in Virgo.
That's going to be such a good season. I actually love Virgo season, which says a lot about me. But I have a Taurus like stellium, so that earth sign energy is like always a really productive time for me.
And I'm opposite energy of the Virgo. I got 4 planets in Pisces. One of them is the North Node, so it's not technically a planet. But when Virgo season
comes... But that's important because your calling is to be more like a Pisces, to be more like your sun sign and like more relaxed. And your South Node's in Virgo, so like your natural tendency is to be much more controlled.
Yeah, totally. And I like to use Virgo season to really get into the details, right? Because I have a hard time being organized. I'm sure a lot of water signs can resonate with that, but especially the Pisces. And what we can learn from Virgos is to be organized, consistent, logical, practical, down to earth, grounded, more stable. And those are all energies that water signs could use. And that's why water goes good with earth, okay? Because earth provides water a stable ground to flow on. And then water provides earth water to grow plants, to grow things from. So what earth signs learn from water signs is belief in their dreams, okay? Because the water signs like to go into their creativity world and think about things and believe in things. Like I believe that I could be an astrologer, even though Virgo might be like, what the fuck is that? Not all Virgos, but some Virgos would be like that.
We both start from a place of I think we both manifest from daydreams a lot.
Right.
And that works. That's a really fertile place. That's something that like, kids get given medication to not be big daydreamers, and like we can really train that out. But that is such a powerful place of bringing things into creation. I really believe that.
Yeah. Speaking of spiritual people and psychics and water signs and that type of energy, I could definitely tell you that I was told so many times as a kid that I needed. I was hyper, whatever, HDD, whatever that's called, and I needed this, I needed that. Thank God my parents didn't listen to any of that bullshit because I didn't need anything. I just had to harness my power, okay? And a lot of people who are psychic have to harness all that creativity, like Emily, for example. I don't know if I could disclose that you have stuff in certain areas of your chart, but...
yeah, totally.
Okay, yeah, so Emily has... 12th house energy. She has planets in the 12th house. And I urge everyone to look at the 12th house, see if they have planets there, because a lot of people who have planets in the 12th house, society tells them that they have some type of mental disorders half the time, right? And usually when planets are in your 12th house, it just means your psychic is fucking. You just gotta harness that power. You just gotta learn how to control it. You just gotta learn how to wield it, okay? And then eventually, once you learn how to work your 12th house magic, which is like the psyche, your spiritual world, your dream world, then it doesn't really manifest in a bad way anymore in the physical world, okay? So I just wanted to point that out to you guys. If you guys have 12th house energy and you guys feel like you guys might have some type of hard mental challenges, that's exactly what it is. It's a challenge for you to upgrade your powers and become even stronger.
That's really smart that you brought that up, because that's exactly, it's like your Pisces stellium that has you have that really big daydream. And for me, it is my Pac 12th house. Absolutely. Like, that's definitely like a challenge. And one of my big, I guess it's one of the missions I was sent here in this life is to stay embodied and not just get so happy in a fantasy world I made for myself that I'm not doing that like real life stuff, because that can happen too. Like, I'm like super comfortable in my own company. It's really easy for me to stop like letting anybody else in and just do my work.
Yeah.
Kind of like it like that.
True. And so what's really funny is I don't have any 12th house. I don't have any planets in my 12th house, but I have a stellium in Pisces, and that's the ruler of the 12th house. So I get the wanting to kind of exclude yourself from the world sometimes and just like be in your own little world and do your own thing. And sometimes things can be easier there, right? But
you lose a lot of the growth and the challenge that we're sent here for, and so you start to like stagnate because you can't actually like push yourself the same way that interacting with other spiritual beings can push you. So that's always the challenge of like, bringing out those dreams into the real world and making them real so that you can experience them with somebody else.
Yep. And that's why I call this channel the Market MoonLord, where we merge the matrix with the stars. Like, one thing I want everyone to realize, that's spiritual, that's psychic, that's intuitive, we are still participating in a 3D reality, okay? And the more we learn to blend our magic with this 3D reality, the more we are going to manifest, okay? This is facts. I'm a Pisces, I hate being organized, but the more organized I am, the more success I have, the more. And for you guys that understand what I'm saying, is like Pisces not organized, Virgo is opposite of that, right? So the more I challenge my weaknesses, my natural energies of just like being in my own little world and try to participate in the world and do things that are uncomfortable, even though I don't want to do them, I know I should do them. The more I do that type of thing, the more I challenge myself, the more I blend myself with the matrix, the better life is inside the matrix, okay? And then when I die, my physical body, then I don't have to worry about the matrix anymore. But until then, we should worry about the matrix. I don't know why the conversation is going there, but that's where it just took us, okay?
Sometimes you have to just call out the simulation and make sure that we're all just like saying it. Like, this is totally feels like a space where we should just be able to say all the stuff that we know is happening. Everybody knows that something about this is like scheduled.
Yeah.
I always feel like our existence is just so scheduled, so managed.
Divine timing. I love it.
Okay,
so GameStop is ripping past 8% and AMC's pushing 4%. That's beautiful. I'm looking for AMC to be around that $46 mark or above that for the next full moon, which is going to be a blue moon. Emily made sure I knew that. And if we're somewhere around that 46 range or higher, I would say 4 days before the full moon, we're in squeeze type energy. Just saying. I'm not talking short squeeze. Could be a small squeeze, gamma squeeze, but we will be in squeeze territory for a big move for the full moon if we're around that $46 mark. I just want to bring it up. Leah says Neptune transit energy. Facts. What's up, Leah? Okay, so let's look at what else is happening in the sky. So one thing I want to mention, Venus is in Virgo, okay? And that's a debilitated position for Virgo, or for Venus. Now, what does that mean? Debilitation. It means the planet does worse there, but it just becomes very, it can create a little bit of turmoil when it's debilitated. But trust me when I say debilitated planets are strong as fuck. Okay, my Mercury, the planet of processing, the planet of intelligence, is in Pisces, and that's debilitation. Okay, but my debilitation just took me to astrology. You know, I may not want to do something technical, but I could pull out an astrology chart and just see it perfectly, and that's how the debilitation can work sometimes. And don't get nervous whenever you see debilitation. But Venus is debilitated in Virgo, and I actually don't mind Venus in Virgo, because Venus is.
I'm with you. I kind of like it. I think it's a good time to like refine and get into the details of stuff.
Mhm.
And Venus, like the other side of not being scared of detriment is understanding that when planets are in a place where they have like a ton of essential dignity, sometimes that's really, really, really too much of a good thing. Like Venus and Libra can like have a big sort of like hedonist vibe that goes too far. I think we all have to worry about retail therapy. Like Libra season just hits me in the pocketbook the second it comes in. Like every time Venus is in Libra, I have to like hide my debit card and hide the credit cards because that's superficial. I get really worried about my appearance a little bit more. So those are things that I notice every time Venus goes into Libra. And Virgo and her practicality, like kind of in that meshing, like I don't know. It's just maybe because my fifth house is in Virgo and I have some placements there, but I really do like this season a lot.
Yeah, and Venus in a natal chart in Virgo, to me, like if you have a partner that has that, you're actually pretty lucky, because your partner is going to pay attention to all the details, and he or she is going to make sure all the details are, being managed appropriately. Okay, so Venus Virgo people actually make really good lovers. Would you agree with that?
Yes, and gorgeous. Like even as you
Mm.
say that, like just because Virgos take such good care of themselves anyways and are so like focused on the
Mm.
presentation and that
Mm.
sort of perfecting all the elements, like that sounds like such a pretty placement too.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing about Venus and an Earth sign, especially Virgo, is they're trying to see their partner and then construct everything around their partner appropriately and provide a um, stable, consistent place for that partner. Safe place for that partner.
That's a really good way to say that because Virgo is like they call it like the practical servant, right? And sometimes it's a really thankless position, but especially with Venus and like her kind of like nurturing and sort of like vibe setting tendencies and those two together, your like Venus Virgo partner is going to make sure that like your environment is suited to your favorite things and that everything looks like that good. And they might get a little neurotic about it, having everything be the way it should, but you're never going to have somebody who pays more attention to your preferences. That is so true.
A great point. Venus and Virgo, depending on their other placements, Virgo energy can be very, lack of a better way of saying this, anal. Okay, they can be super control freaky, but they're just like so big on making sure everything is taken care of that they just come off like they're like a control anal freak type people sometimes, right? But don't confuse that energy for them trying to control you, them trying to be some type of way. They're just trying to make sure everything is in place appropriately.
This is the thing about like the Virgo cycle. I swear to God, this is what is so sad about it every time it happens because they set such wildly high standards for whatever they're trying to achieve that what they actually manage to achieve is so extraordinary, like so much more than they should have been able to pull off in whatever they're attempting. But because they set it so high, they're still disappointed in what they did. Like they didn't do enough, you know what I mean? Because they just had the highest standards in the world to reach to. So they keep making these amazing, like literal material manifestations. Virgos are always putting it together. Virgos are always keeping it. They never get to enjoy themselves.
Yeah, they are very hard on
Yes.
themselves.
Moon and Virgo, Leah, that is absolutely, I missed that one. That is exactly the way to use it. What are you painting?
Nice, nice. Yes, let us know what you're painting. I still want to talk about Virgo. So growing up, I had there was like six of us. We had like game like six people and we all played football. I have a twin brother. He's a Pisces. I'm a Pisces. And then literally like my two best friends, they were Virgo suns. One of them was a Virgo moon, and another one's a Virgo rising. And I had so much fun just like fucking with them all the time because they're so easy to piss off because they're so logical. All you have to do is say something that's not true, and they're gonna want to like have a whole debate on it.
Yeah, you have to like, let's circle back. That's like the Virgo, like, let's circle back.
Yeah.
That's not like the way that went.
Yeah.
They always have to have that correcting thing. I think that's funny that somebody had already figured out like how to wind them up.
Yeah. But I need Virgos. Virgos teach me how to like be logical, how to be grounded, and I do. One of the reasons why I was attracted to my friends growing up is because they were all like, we all play sports, and they were all like super competitive. Like Virgos are very competitive at like whatever they do. They want to make sure that it's not that they want to like beat the other person though. It's like they want to do their best, right? And they want to like,
it's within themselves. It's totally internal, like who they're competing with. Absolutely.
Yeah, and for me, like I always say, like if I have a business partner, like if I had to pick any sign for a business partner, it's gonna be a fucking Virgo, okay? Because even the thing about Virgos is like if you fuck up, they're still going to do the work, okay? Like if you don't show up, they're still gonna show up. But Virgos are like super big on just making sure things get done. And if I had a kid and I wanted him to have a successful life, I think Virgo would be the easiest sign, right? If I'm selfish, I want my kid to be either a Sagittarius or Pisces. But hey, that's where you're going. That person has to merge themselves with the matrix. It can be a little difficult at times. What's up, Monty? Good to see you here. You guys hit that like button on the way in. Okay, Emily. So what do you want to talk about? I just want a Virgo rant, but hey, it happened.
It's a good one. I have a North Node in Virgo. So Virgo energy is like what I was sent here to embody. So I'm fascinated with Virgo and everything about it. It's probably why it's such a healing energy for me to kind of like embrace at the same time. But what do we want to talk about? I feel like this weekend was such a big deal for everybody. And now I'm so grateful like that we are starting a new moon cycle, because I feel like we collectively have started really recognizing that dark moon before we hit the reversal is no joke. Like we all get so low. It is so hard to keep spirits light when all the energy sucks out right before the new moon. And then this day happens and it's just like you're so refilled every single time.
Mm-hmm. And I'm happy you said that, because I used to talk a lot about the moon phases and exactly what's happening on a psychological level when I first started doing this. And I want to give everyone a reminder of this, okay? Before there's a new moon, the moon is literally like at the very last phase where it's like pretty much, lack of a better word, dying, okay? The moon is like disappearing. And they call it a new moon because it's like an actual real new moon, okay? So what's happening during a waning period, especially at the very end of it, is the energy is at its lowest, okay? And you guys know we established this a long time ago. These hedge funds, these billionaires, they have astrologers on deck, okay?
Absolutely.
They're spending.
There's no chance they don't. It's not a possibility.
Yeah, there's, like she said, there's absolutely no chance they don't. And so when they're doing all this work on our psyche, okay? If I was a hedge fund, the best time to drop the prices to get people to shake out is literally at the end of the waning moon. Literally.
Yep.
Okay? Because that's when we are the least convicted, at our lowest psychological, energetical, emotional point. Okay? And if you guys don't know what phase you're in, you can get washed up by the energy very easily. Like I literally, when the full moon happens and we're no longer in a waxing phase, I'm just chilling at that point, and I'm literally waiting for the new moon again. Literally. Like if we pop during the waning period, that's awesome, I'll take it. But for the most part, I'm chilling, especially during the last days of the actual waning. Okay?
Yeah, it's just so hard to keep saying the same thing through a waning cycle. You know, you kind of have to just like kick your shoes off and rest up for when this is happening, because this is when like you were saying before, like there's no way you, me, any of the psychics that we have in the Discord, nobody can actually fully predict the day that the squeeze is coming, but we can kind of identify like zones where it's like, that's what I would look for in a transit chart. You know, if I was going to look for a squeeze, that's probably the kind of stuff that I would look for. And those are always like, they're big energy, big input, big output times.
Exactly.
It's best to be like rested. Like you don't want to miss it when it's all going down, but that's so much adrenaline and cortisol. Like you have to like let your system. Maybe that's very lazy Taurus of me, but I really do feel like we probably don't schedule enough rest for ourselves, and we need more than like everybody needs more than they get.
I was resting. I've been super tired. That's another thing. Is like you when it's waning, we're actually our bodies have less energy. Okay, and it is a time. A waning period is literally a time of rest, of rethinking or fine tuning what we want for the next phase. Okay, because the waning is a time of resting, retreating almost, and then getting ready for the next phase, the new moon. And Leah said the ending of the Olympics was at the end of the waning moon, and that's so funny.
That's
I didn't realize that. Yeah,
that's such a perfect like packing up the party and getting ready for like a new thing, and finally being able to like let it all go. Totally right about the Hermes archetype. We were just talking about that because Mercury, and you know this, Leah, is domicile and exalted in Virgo. So that is going to be an extremely exciting period, especially for AMC as their Time Lord. And Virgo, when Mercury goes into Virgo, it is flying. It is in and out of there in like a couple of weeks, I think. Like it doesn't even spend hardly any time. And when Mercury is moving that fast, I'm starting to see that the markets move really quickly with him, even if it's not a Time Lord situation. But AMC and Mercury have been like best buddies for a while now, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
Emily, give them a quick little rundown what you mean by Time Lords, because I know you're really big on that, and I think that's not like that's more advanced astrology. I want you to kind of explain that.
Totally. Thank you for like letting me know. Like I actually forget about stuff like that. So Time Lords are part of a Hellenistic astrology technique called perfections. And the basic idea is that every year that you're here moves in conjunction with one of the houses on the zodiac wheel. So like from 0 to 1 is your first house year, and then from 1 to 2 is the second house year, and it goes around like every 12 years like that. So if you track to see what kind of perfection year you're in, the ruler of that house, whatever sign occupies that house, is your Time Lord for the year. And you can get very, very, very specialized, very specific transits looking for like the entire course of the year by focusing on what that planet is doing. And if you start to track it after a while, you see a lot of those themes. Like if you're in an 8th house year, so many people here right now are in 8th house years, and they're dealing with the stock market for the first time. They're going through these issues with other people's money and resources. And so it's kind of that kind of a theme. So AMC is in a Mercury ruled year, and by spending more time watching that, it's been a little bit like one more tool to kind of track where it's going.
I love it. And tell them how we will use it personally. Like what Time Lord are you in?
So I'm in the 7th house perfection year, and it's Mars ruled. So I'm already married. That's like usually the first thing that you go to for a 7th house. But we do joke about this because just when I switched over into a 7th house year, like right around my birthday was when we met. And then that became like another like kind of significant creative partnership, you know, like, so I was really immediately sort of like, okay, Mars, I see you.
You know what's funny about that too? The 7th house is a natural house of Libra, and I'm a Libra rising. So that's hilarious. Okay, and so you're in a 7th house year, and tell us about being in a Mars ruled year.
So there's another part to perfections. Mars is actually an okay planet for me. He's still a malefic, but I have what we call in Hellenistic astrology a night chart, meaning that my sun, okay, we're about to get really deep.
Let's do it.
If you look at my birth chart, my sun is below the horizon, the AC DC line, and that signifies that I'm a night chart. And each sect, the night sect and the day sect, so if your sun was above that, you'd be a day sect, comes with a different luminary, and they have a different set of preferred planets that kind of like make up their court. So I'm a night chart, so I'm ruled by the moon. And my main benefic, the one that favors me the most, is Venus, which is really good because I have an exalted Venus. And Mars is like my primary malefic, which means that he's a bit more constructive and less dangerous for me. So it's been a lot of energy. It's been a lot of kind of a lot of initiative, a lot of trying new things. I have to work out all the time, or I'm literally bouncing off the walls. Like, you know how much I've been like keeping up with all that, and really just channeling the energy and keeping my Aries moon out of the conversation. That's also proven to be a little bit challenging. I get hot real fast these days and have to like calm myself down. Pay attention to the temper for sure.
And she made an awesome point, night chart and day chart. So if you guys look at my screen over here, this is what she was talking about. If you have your sun on this half of the chart, which would be the 1st to 6th house, then your sun is in the bottom, the night chart. Is that correct? Exactly. And then if it's above that, then you have more of a day chart, which also means, okay, people who have more of a day chart, they have more of a sun-like energy, yang-like energy, which, or you can even say masculine-like energy. And what all I mean by that, yang, day energy, sun energy, masculine energy, is you're more of a person who does things externally, out in the world, and you're not as internal as someone who has a night or their sun on the night side of it. The feminine energy, the yin energy, etc. Right? So that's something that's actually a very interesting conversation because a lot of psychics.
You and I are both night charts.
Yeah.
And I think that's so amazing because we both are like, you literally focus on lunar transits. Like that is your luminary. Like she is your ruler for sure. And you are completely like, have built this entire career off like tracking her movements and figuring out what she's gonna do next.
Yeah, hilarious.
You have to be one of her favorites by now, for sure.
Yeah. The moon fucks with me. Lately, I gotta keep the energy right. I gotta keep doing this work. I gotta keep exposing everyone to the world of the power of the moon, and the moon will continue to take care of me. If you guys have powerful information, it's your responsibility to get it out to the people who need it, okay? Because I truly feel like we have access to certain information, and even though it can be hard to put it out there, we're supposed to, okay? That's what we're kind of sent here to do, is put out our light, put out our information. And you guys already know, speaking of the sun, speaking of the moon, everything does revolve around the sun. And what does the sun do, guys? The sun puts out light, okay? So our whole chart revolves around our sun. It's the most important planet in the stars for our zodiac. And if you guys aren't putting out light, if you guys aren't putting out the solar energy of the sun and your own information, then you guys aren't attracting as much light either, okay? And so keep that in mind. The more light we put out, the more things will come together for us, the more opportunities will come in for us, okay? So that's another thing. People with night charts, they want to be kind of unseen. They kind of want to be behind the scenes, okay? Trust me, guys, I don't really care to be on camera. I don't really care to be in the spotlight, but I know everything revolves around the sun. I know I need to put out my own light, and that's why I do it. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So remember that. Remember that, guys. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Life is about putting out your fucking light. Facts. Okay. Totally. All right, so let's see the chat real fast. Christina Honor says her son is her Time Lord this year, and she's running.
Yes.
And she's in a second house here, and her second house is Leo. Ooh, that's nice. Ooh. Yeah. So Emily, since you're the Time Lord goddess, I'm gonna let you kind of give a little snippet on what it means to have the sun as your Time Lord and what she should be kind of looking into, paying attention to, and all that stuff.
Well, Christina, do you know if you have like using that calculation a day or a night chart? Because that makes a really big difference. And I do feel like sometimes if you have a night chart, the sun can be a bit of a malefic. I really do. And you had to do a reading for me about this because I had started a whole huge fight in my house in the morning and I was flipping out in text messages. And the first thing Jason did was pull up my chart and see that I had like a Sun-Jupiter conjunction in my 4th house. And everything was like super overheated. And I was just like, oh God, I should have seen that one coming. But that's a Jupiter and that's the sun. So you would initially think that that's just like amazing good fortune all over the place. But you have Jupiter, who is like a lover of overreaction, right? Like always wants to make everything big. And the sun needs like a little bit of shelter from it, because you can just be burned to a crisp if you're like exposed, the more that you're exposed to it without any kind of a shelter or anything going up. So I would say any kind of a second house year that is sun ruled, or just a sun ruled year, is about like exposure, getting comfortable with it. Like you have to have that sunlight disinfects, right? So like anytime that is coming through, and like thankfully we have like Leo energy surrounding it, so it's done in this really warm and generous way. But it definitely, I think of things like burning away, like a lot of different kind of, like, of course, spotlight and visibility and all that kind of stuff, I think are really important themes to sort of embody for yourself. A Leo's second house, are you a performer? Aquarius day chart. Yeah, Christina. That is like, the sun is basic, that's your ruler. That's your primary luminary. You're one of his favorites. You're one of his children. If there is something, especially around earned income, or something that has to do with visibility, something that has to do with putting yourself out there more, that is something that you should be absolutely hammering out until like next February, January, whenever your birthday is going to come around. And I would really love to know what's been happening with you in all these Aquarius nations, because I would think that the blue moon that's coming up again, opposing all this stuff, like, wow, like what is happening with you? Because that's actually a lot. You've had a lot of astrology on you, Christina, with the new moon, the Lion's Gate, awesome. 2 Aquarius full moons, one after another. Ooh. I mean, all fixed signs are really like, fixed signs are being developed. That's what I feel like. Like we're in the lab. Something is like creating us right now. It's all just a big process of like a lot of growth, a lot of planetary attention right now.
Yeah. I think you said it best when you said her this year is really about like, you know, putting the light out for her and being, you know, more exposed to the world and exposing herself more. I think that's a really good idea for the sun being your time lord. Okay.
On top of that, if somebody is like suppressing or stifling that voice, or there's a situation that's too oppressive, Christina, that you're being caught in, or somebody is trying to dim that light, I would say handle that with quickness, because that's something that could actually like have like negative effects on your health through a period like this. Like that expression and that clear channel and being able to, whatever you want to do with it, just being able to keep that open is like actually a little necessary for your physical health as well. Like your physical vitality is going to be tied to like your self-expression, your ability to be who you were sent here to be. So be wary of any haters that are trying to keep you from your mission, because they could be more problematic than they're supposed to be. Yeah. Hi, Woody. What's up?
What's up?
Happy Price Action Day.
Okay, so Leah said she's in her Mars perfection ruler year, and that squares her natal Pluto, and she almost got hit by a car. It was really wild. Mars tried to attack me.
Yeah, that is definitely, I have to watch myself. There was one day where I think Mars was like on my Saturn, or it was coming up to something, and I kept like burning myself with every incense stick that I tried to, like, I cut myself like 4 times. Like fire and sharp objects right now are like drawn to me. They're ready at all times. I think the ancients, and Leah will know this too, I think that they referred to Mars as like the stabby one, because in like ancient Hellenistic astrology, nobody was a fan. Like everybody was just like, he's here to murder and pillage, just like, you know, hide your wives, hide your sheep. Whenever like Mars was coming into the conversation. And now we've of course like found some more constructive outlets like athleticism and like all that kind of stuff that can go with it. But it's important to remember that Mars is a dangerous planet, always.
And Mars, in the year of Mars square your Pluto, you have a year of major transformation. I can guarantee that. And you might be doing a lot of your transformation behind the scenes, getting ready for the next push into life, because Pluto does rule darkness and privacy, things happening behind the scenes. Mars and Pluto are kind of from the same energy. Mars would be like a different octave of the frequency than Pluto, but they're both on the same frequencies, right? Just different octaves. So Pluto likes to transform things. Mars likes to get things done, take action on things. Okay, a square to Mars and a square to your Pluto is your year is about you really transforming yourself in ways you may find uncomfortable, ways you might have to challenge yourself in. But after you challenge yourself, after you make yourself a little bit uncomfortable with this type of stuff, it should have a really nice dramatic transformation, because Mars and Pluto together are sudden changes. Okay, when the change happens, it could be like you said, you almost got hit by a car. It can be super sudden. And last week I was saying on AMC that we had a lot of Mars Pluto energy, and so the price could be like this. Okay, we had a lot of down, but suddenly we popped really high that one day. Okay, and that's how Mars and Pluto can work. So I do suggest, if you guys know any Mars Pluto people who have like Mars Pluto conjunction, those aren't the people you want to test. Those aren't the people you want to tick off, because that the energy can just like take them over. They black out and just hurt somebody. Okay.
Yeah, it's really it's tricky. I know some astrologers get like, especially with like the Mars Pluto stuff and all that kind of, it's best not to like fearmonger, because they are really heavy planets. But like if you're already in the know and you're like Leah and you have the planets are already in conversation with you, then there is no point in pussyfooting around it. That is a possibility of danger. Like danger is around. You have to keep your wits about you. And I definitely would like be on the guard for sketchy characters, that kind of stuff, and just keep like, a sense of your surroundings and awareness during that time. Or at least I do when I have Mars Pluto contacts, because I definitely have had stuff happen during those times.
Yeah.
It's not awesome, but like these are like transits at some point that we're all going to go through, so it is kind of like that whole thought of just like, sooner or later, if you're privileged enough to live a long enough life, sickness and suffering and strife are going to come for you, because that is part of having a human experience. But I do like astrology being able to give us a bit of a heads up, so we can take appropriate like measures, and at least you face it with like a little bit of like armor on. It's coming for you. At least you're not like caught surprised or unaware.
Yeah, and on more like fun things on Mars Pluto square, it's a great time to almost own your power, get more power. Great time to get more resources, because Pluto rules resources, Mars rules.
Or get in shape. You could get into amazing physical. Pluto being transformation and Mars being like the sign of fitness and throwing weights around. I have seen people like do that whole like 180, like turn into fitness models underneath like a good transit, especially if Pluto gets stuck on somebody's Mars for a really long time. Forget it. They're going to end up on magazine covers. Just like that is such a good combination for that, and a really good way to like channel it.
I'm like a perfect example of channeling Mars and strong Mars.
1 second. Woody, like I would wait. Jay, can you go to the chat and read Woody's thing, because you're the best with price action?
Okay, one question.
I think like if you can put him off a couple of days, like we're absolutely going to have price growth, like in my opinion. But Jason is like the master of price action, so
I must say, why should I put an attorney off? Hey, I will put that attorney off until after the full moon. Okay, or within. Remember, we have a very significant full moon coming up. Okay, it's going to be a blue moon, meaning this is the second full moon we had in the same sign. This time it's going to be in Aquarius again, and it's going to be 29 degrees, isn't it? Isn't it a 29-degree full moon?
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
And the first one was like 0, so like there's like all this anorectic degree action, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
As many days as you can go into the cycle, Woody, or if you wanted to kind of like stagger sales, like as the prices are kind of going back and forth, I've heard people be really happy with that. I know it's so stressful when you have to liquidate like anything, especially because like we put so much into building these stores, but like I do think that you're going to be financially taken care of. And I'm glad you're bringing it up, because we're allowed to take care of ourselves financially while we're doing all this. That's really important to like keep in mind. But I think the further you go into this cycle, the happier you're going to be with the prices that you see, as long as you can kind of like work them.
Yeah, I'm very, very bullish for this next 2 weeks. Extremely bullish. Yeah, I do think August could be our month, guys. It could definitely be our month. We got a full moon. That's a blue moon. I'm the blue moon of Neptune. Hey, I'm feeling it. I'm not selling. I'm gonna hold as long as I can. If you have a credit card, maybe throw it on the credit card for a little bit. But yeah, I do suggest holding it a few days. We could see a push before the full moon and then another big push around the full moon time. But yeah, if you could try to hold on to it during this cycle, I would definitely do that. Okay. How's my transits can I do practicing on this probate? That's really important. Yeah, let me.
Don't put yourself into a bad legal situation ever.
I'll
That's
take.
not worth it.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I'll take a quick little peek at your chart, and see what I see. Now, what was I going to say? What were we talking about before that? We're talking about the Mars-Pluto situation, but I kind of forget what I was going to say. Okay, so Havana, I got your chart up over here. I'm just going to take a quick little peek. What I really like about your chart is you do have the Jupiter trine Jupiter. Okay, now Jupiter is retrograde right now for everybody, and Jupiter does rule justice, the legal system, and stuff like that. So that could be a indication that maybe you do have to go back on some legal things and take care of that. Having the Jupiter retrograde Jupiter, and honestly, it does look like if you go ahead and take care of your legal matters, having the Jupiter retrograde trine Jupiter, that is going to be beneficial for you. Yeah, it's going to be the final. So yeah, you may have to go back and do that. It could be.
I would take do whatever you have to do. If you have the resources to close it, don't worry about taking a little bit of a hit. I think it's going to be okay and you're going to be all right. But that's an awesome transit to be able to say goodbye to this, and be on the other side of it soon.
Right. And you have Venus square the Sun, 0 degrees. Venus in your first house. So that could show you got to play with your money a little bit and deal with some money situations. Venus opposite Uranus could also show your money could have a little bit of a shift. But again, the Jupiter trine Jupiter is a good indication of whatever you're doing legally is going to work out to your favor. Okay, and you just had that new moon in your 10th house. So you're like an early degree. Scorpio ascendant. So we kind of have similar charts. I had the new moon in my 10th house too, which will show you may have to go in the world and take care of some business. Okay, you might have some business to take care of. 10th house is your career house, where you're doing in the world, you're standing in the world. So yes, during this new moon phase, you may have to go in the world and take care of some business. That looks like a fact right there. Okay, and then you have the 0 degree Mars square Mercury, which tells me you don't want to be compulsive with whatever you do. You want to make sure you're strategic. You want to make sure you're taking your time and really making a decision with practicality. Okay, but we'll leave it at that. Hopefully that helped. Man, AMC is looking like it's ripping a little bit. AMC's at 34.44. That's sexy. I like that. It just went to 4.3444. And
it's going for its tops again. That's exciting.
Yeah, and you guys know I like my fours lately. AMC's at 5%. GameStop's up 7.7%. Awesome day on this new moon energy. That's what's up. Let me see what he said. He says, "What's up, Crypto Bitcoin? What's up? Is this the first time you're here? I think it might be your first time I see you in the chat." Okay, so how much I'm bullish to get over 50 and I can make it work, but I took that 3K and brought AMC. I was thinking it was going to be a choice and you still have 5,600 shares. You're good. If you have that many shares and you only have to sell 100 of them, I don't think it's that big of a decision. You are.
So what do you like? I'm the same. I have options on this moon cycle with an expiration date of the 20th and the strike price is 50. So that has been. Maybe I'll pay for my bullish optimism, but that's where my head is at too. That's a number that I've been thinking we'll see absolutely in this cycle.
Yes, sir.
So.
Yeah, I think you're good. I think whatever decision you make, you're good. Crypto Bitcore says this is his first time here. What's up? Hopefully you get on the Discord with the rest of the MoonLords. Let us know what your sign is. Good to have you here. Homie. Okay, so we have 45 minutes left. Okay. If you guys have a candle, if you guys have a match, a lighter, what we're going to do is we're just going to simply light a candle with whatever your intentions are. Okay? Yeah, there you go, Emily. I see you.
I'm trying not to set myself on fire. I've been so nervous about this, but I am committing. We're doing this.
So, hey, all my psychics, you guys better be doing this. Mystic, I don't know.
He has so much firepower in this circle. I am like actually a little bit scared for this. This is really exciting.
Yeah, Mystic, are you here? I feel like you're like one of the leaders of the spells. Mystic, are you still in the chat? John.
I hope so.
John, are you still in the chat?
Is on.
Saturn Solstice, are you still in the chat? You guys let me know you're still here. Monty's still here, 5%. All right, so if you guys have your lighter or a candle, I just want you guys to light a candle with your intentions of what you guys want the price action to kind of, the energy you guys want to feel, okay? My energy is just like straight abundance of fucking money, okay? I'm not gonna lie. I like money. I'm a Libra rising, okay? So I plan on getting my attendees out here. So I'm gonna be just manifesting a beautiful reality of me just like enjoying my fucking life in a way I want to enjoy it, because I want ultimate freedom. I'm Pisces, we like freedom. That's why I'm in AMC. I'm in AMC for freedom, for myself. I'm in AMC for freedom, for my future children. I want to have generation money in AMC. Looks like it's going to set me up for that. All right, so I'm going ahead and light right now.
Yay! I'm sorry, I totally
There we go.
jumped the gun and had mine lit, but it's such a yummy candle. I like couldn't resist.
And I put it.
It's beautiful.
I put it in my rose quartz candle holder. So
yes.
It's amazing.
And then I have my little like pink Himalayan salt one going over here.
I see you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring out all the heavy weapons here.
If you guys lit a candle, go ahead and drop a candle emoji or any fucking emoji you want to let us know you guys are on the team with us doing your thing. Havana says he didn't get any options, just smooth brain for that. He's just keeping it simple with the shares, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
That's actually, depending on what happens this cycle, honestly, Woody, I might be going back to that myself. I'm glad I tried it. Like, Jason's taken a lot of time to make sure, like, I know what I'm doing, and I worked, like, pretty hard on this play, but stocks never expire. You know, it's like the safest possible bet you can have, especially if you're buying stock in AMC or GameStop. And that is one thing that makes me nervous. Like, I don't want to lose a ton of premium when I could just have more stock. But I'm trying it this one time.
Hey, and the MoonLords that came with me on I know Joy was one of them who got those options that first time before that eclipse rips. My God, like that was sexy. So hey, options is a risk, but when it hits hard. It hits fucking hard. Monty says he got his candle. That's what's up.
Yes! He was in the original circle too.
AMC's ripping. AMC's about to hit $35. Wow. Okay, we were looking sexy.
You guys were doing it? We're doing it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. As soon as we lit those candles, we had a huge pop in volume. We're at 83 on the RSI. That's sexy as fuck. You guys better be lighting those candles right now. Straight up. Okay.
Oh, this is awesome. I love it when we do shit like this.
Yes, it's so amazing. So amazing. Okay, so we lit our candles. We talked about this full moon. AMC's popping. GameStop is popping. Whoa.
Bitcoin's popping. Like everything. Everything we love. Even Doge is getting some love.
Oh, by the
way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm in Doge. I'm in Ethereum. I'm in Bit. I was in them. A little bit before AMC, I got into Doge a little bit as I was in AMC, but for the most part, since AMC started doing this thing, I've been mainly AMC. But Emily did call out that crypto reversal, and I'm not going to lie, when she did that, I did buy some more Bitcoin, I did buy some more Ethereum, and I'm so fucking happy I did, straight up. Thank you. I know I keep telling you that, but hey, you made me money, so I gotta thank you.
Yeah, totally. I'm so glad. I'm so happy that worked out, but we're totally going to have to redo our entire strategies for 2022 then, because that was like, crypto was a big part of my Jupiter and Pisces, like, first half of the year investing, and now it's kind of interesting to think about what it's going to do.
Right.
But I, like, absolutely love these numbers right now. I think one of the crypto astrologers that I follow, who has been doing Bitcoin astrology forever, was pretty convinced that the number was 45,000. Like, if Bitcoin broke 45, then we were back in a bullish market. So and right now we're at 46,379.
Oh my gosh.
That looks like a good sign.
It looks like an amazing sign. If you guys are in Ethereum or Bitcoin, I know what's his name, Crypto Bitcore. He's probably in. Is Bitcore a coin, or does that mean he's Bitcoin? Bitcoin. What do you want in crypto, Bitcoin? What's your strategies with the crypto? Okay, so AMC is still ripping. The volume is still coming in. We're still really hot on the RSI. It looks like we could be approaching 7% soon. And oh man, it's going to be crazy if we keep ripping past that. God knows what's going to happen. I kind of feel like the hedge funds, I mean, it makes sense.
It's absolutely insane. I can't even, like, it's a straight spike right now. Oh, this is exactly what I was hoping for when we decided to, like, have a party. This is the best feeling, and there's nothing I love more than, like, streaming and having a chat open so we all do it together.
Yeah.
Or I remember, like, when the big price action days were happening, like, around the eclipse and doing that, like, that was the most fun I think I've ever had on the Discord. Like, the energy and just, like, the comments back and forth, and, like, everything that's going. That's what I think of. And we're running. Every time I get excited about it, like, it starts to go up again. But that's what this always feels like. I'll never get enough of it.
Yeah.
Just watching it skyrocket just because that's what AMC does.
Wow.
That's what she likes to do.
Yep, we just broke 35.
Yeah, we're going. We're going.
It's been a long time since we've seen so many candles go straight up like this. It's been a long time.
I'm claiming this win for the MoonLords. Like, if this is not happening directly as we're doing it and we're watching this, like, how is this not happening because of us?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. When AMC finally squeezes around a full moon, our MoonLord brand should just go insane. Because I know there's a lot of people who are watching from the sidelines that don't always reveal themselves. But I'm still just...
We're going to have a corporate consultancy by that point. Like, once we have that track record, once we are that legitimate, like, everybody is going to have their own branch. Of, like, we're going to be taking money from, like, all of the big people that want that, like, astrological insider information and setting them on the right place, because we are really getting too good at this. This is scary.
Yeah. Purely unbounded, John says in his opinion we're going to see $100 by the end of the month. Let's go. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that. We got a blue moon, full moon, so hey, I'm with that. I'm so fucking with that. And hey, $100, in my opinion, will only just be the beginning, okay? That's why, and this is why I sell, or this is why I buy options, okay?
That's a good point in, like, bringing up what the strategy is for playing options and not having to, being able to earn some money on the side without harming the price action of AMC and without having to, like, liquidate your stock so that she has time to do what she needs to do. Is a really big, like, perk of options trading as we go through these months. It really does make it a little bit more bearable.
Yeah.
I'm glad you taught me how to do it.
Yeah, because I don't mind selling my options when I'm up, high on them, but I would never sell my shares at $100. I mean, I just can't. But I have options, and I'm happy selling my options, okay? Because you usually lose your money in options, okay? Crypto, Bitcoin says he has Bitcoin and invested in all the AMC and GameStop. That's what's up, okay? We're on the same page there. Havana says up 25K today. And I'm smiling. That's beautiful. Sexy. That is sexy. Congratulations.
That's beautiful. I'm soaking up your wells right now, Woody. That is gorgeous.
Yes, congratulations. And congratulations to all the people who didn't sell last week during the waning moon. And you guys already know I'm going to say it. RIP, all the fucking paper hands. Hey, I feel bad. I don't feel bad for you, okay? You should have been having faith in the situation, and that's why you sold, because you didn't have faith, and that's why your magic doesn't work. Okay, you gotta have faith behind that shit. Okay, this is amazing, amazing day. Does anyone have any questions for us? Havana says we broke over the descending wedge of 77 to 46. The big one is at 37. Oh, speaking of prices, in my personal intuitive opinion, I do think that the hedge funds, for whatever reason, can't really get us in the 20s. And the only way to get us in the 20s, I know we dipped in 29 for like a second, but I remember going to 29 last week for a second, and then we went to like 30 like 2 weeks ago. But for whatever reason, I don't think the hedge funds can get us under 30. And I think that's really the fourth floor where the manipulation can't be manipulated past that, okay? So I feel like last week when they got us to the 29 level, we were there for like a second, I think that was like one of the last push they had for this cycle anyway, for this moment in time. And this new moon phase brought us back to where we should be anyway, back in the higher up in the 30s, right? So keep that in mind. I don't really see AMC really going to the 20s again, especially after this earning. I forget about the earnings call. We have the earnings call today, and I don't see how we're not going to beat that shit. I don't see how we're not going to have some really, 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 really good earnings. I mean, AMC.
Like one of the biggest streaming services that we all rely on right now is a piece of shit because the app is absolutely horrible and you can't watch anything without getting kicked out 5 times. They're famous on Twitter right now for it. And I just feel like there's all of these signs that are coming in for like strong stuff, like stuff always pushing back in the direction of like the institution of movies and keeping it going. I think it's gonna be really good.
So what you're saying basically is Disney's a hedgy?
Kind of. I mean, like they're stealing from that industry. They steal profits like nobody's business. They steal labor from the artists that work for them. There's like stories and stories and stories, especially as this has been happening and they've been developing more properties. And they had the balls to go back to her and say like, "I'm sorry, we're trying to keep America safe." Like in their legal brief, they were like, "We're sorry, Minister Johansson can't understand that we're in a pandemic in an unprecedented time." Like that was somehow okay to take all of these measures. Like, I don't know. I like Disney programming a lot, but as a company, they're super sketch and they're so powerful as a media conglomerate as well. And they have so much power over the stars that work on their properties. I think that's a little upsetting.
Yeah.
Like, they're not allowed to say what they want to say. They have to say what the mouse wants them to say.
Ooh. Scarlett Johansson has a Scorpio moon. Her sun is 0 degrees Sagittarius.
And she's a Sagittarius sun, right? Like that's like, and she stays in the paint. Like she gets herself in trouble a lot. Like she has definitely had some like not good public moments. But as far as picking up a fight that a lot of people need to have taken on, she's the one. She's absolutely got the grit in the name to like see that all the way through. Like I'd be scared if I was Disney.
Yeah, seriously. Don't mess with a Scorpio moon ever. Okay. You don't want those problems. You don't want those problems, okay? She just had a new moon in her 9th house of legal matters, so it looks like that's gonna go pretty good. Especially since Mercury's in her 9th house too, so I like that. Okay. So AMC is at $34.85. We're still up 6.4%. She's just cooling down a little bit, getting ready for another rip. It's going back up on the RSI. We're almost approaching the 60% on the RSI, so that's what's up. Okay, so we have 30 minutes left. So if anyone wants a reading, we're gonna leave the readings up. 2 people. So if anyone wants a reading, or anyone just wants to get on the Zoom and have anything to say to the MoonLords, this is the time to do that. Let me go ahead and put the Zoom meeting IDs up there at the top left-hand side. You guys see that? Or right-hand side? So if anyone wants to come in, let us know. Havana says, I really...
Scorpio moon, Woody. Like, and I'm actually, it's crazy because everybody talks about it in the secondary progressions of like a 2.5-year period of absolute hell. But like I've found that Scorpio intensity, one, I'm doing all kinds of 8th house stuff going into it. On my timeline for, yeah, absolutely. There's like a chart that I can send you on the Discord, or you can look up kind of on Google, which shows, it looks like a zodiac wheel and it has an association with each year, and this is the house it goes with. So we would just go into your chart and figure out what house you were in. And let me see if I still have you in my software.
Yeah, and where would people go? Do you know a site that people can find out their progression year and all that stuff?
Normally, I think so I have software that has a Hellenistic component, and it will show you the perfections and the monthly perfections and that kind of stuff that's happening. I don't know if astro.com, who are normally really incredibly good, like they pick up so many different kinds of calculations and systems. Like, I don't know if they have the option yet, but there's a really simple infographic like that I was kind of like explaining that you can just like look up perfection in your wheel and you just find your age on it and it tells you the house. And that's normally, if you don't want to like count and literally like perfect your way through all of the years you've been on this earth, like that's probably the easiest way to find it.
Yeah, and if you guys heard of astroseek.com, astro-seek.com, it looks like they do have a calculator on it. I'm going to go ahead and do mine real quick to make sure it works before I give it out.
I think you're in a Venus year. I feel.
Let's see.
Let me see.
I hope I'm in a Venus year. That would be sexy. Okay.
It's a good time for it.
Okay, so it looks like it's giving me my my houses, and it says I'm in my 10th house. And I think you told me that before.
Oh, that's right.
Ooh, this is telling me my ruler is Saturn for the year.
Okay, so wait, you have no.
No?
Because your 10th house is Cancer, isn't it?
Yes, What, did I type in my birthday correctly? Let's see. March 16th, 88.
That would be crazy because you'd be in a moon ruled year, which I can absolutely see for you with the kind of year that you've had. And John is also having a moon ruled year. And you guys have spent your entire, and his is 9th house of like long seeking philosophy and all that kind of stuff. And he's modding like a MoonLord Discord, which I think is just so appropriate. Like, way to get like into position when the universe tells you, like you go exactly where they want you to be.
We should all drop a MoonLord mixtape where all the MoonLords who do music should get on the mixtape. That would be so fucking dope. Call it the MoonLords. Yeah, I don't really know how to work this site, but AstroSeek seems to have a lot of different options, and that's also a social media type place for people who do zodiac signs. One time I went on AstroSeek and I saw everyone that was born the same day as me. It was really creepy, but I friend requested all of them.
I love that stuff. And don't they have the options where you can like change, like you can look for people with your big three?
Yeah, that's dope. When I was, I would say, when I was in college and Facebook first started coming around and stuff like that, I friend requested every single Jason Butler in the world. I had like hundreds of them. But it ended up being a major problem because every time something happened, it was like always my name, and I never knew it was for me or someone else. So I had to get rid of all of them. That was some creepy shit that I did back in the day. Okay, so Emily, what's on your mind? Anything on your mind? Anything going on that you want to speak about in the stars? Anything for the future on GameStop, crypto? Any dates you're looking at? Talk to me.
I think we all know that something big is happening in November, and taking into the rest of the year, you know that the only thing that's on my mind right now that I actually like want all the other astrologers in the chat to tell me that I'm going to be okay is the astrology of October 9th. Because there's like a Moon, Mars, Mercury conjunction that is happening in Libra exactly on my Pluto.
Wow.
And Jason has promised me that I'm not actually going to die. I'm not going to be like transformed right out of this lifetime, but I'm not sure that I fully believe it yet. It is so much. Like, we just spent all this time talking about Pluto like transits, and I'm like, that is so much contact at the same time, plus my Time Lord for the year.
Ooh.
Like,
but it's happening.
I'm not getting out of bed.
It's happening in the sign of Libra, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. At least it's happening in a very lovely sign. At least you have that going for you.
That's true.
Yeah. It could just as long as the balance isn't getting too irritated between your life and other people, I think it's going to be okay. But that is definitely some extreme energy. I'm not going to lie. But
that'll be a good one to look through and figure out what that's doing for everybody, because that is a pretty impressive conjunction coming up.
Yeah, definitely. For me personally, I'm just taking it. I honestly just take it week by week, month by month. moon phase by moon phase, only because I just believe in the squeeze, period. Okay, so as long as you guys believe in the phase, I think we just need to chill out and enjoy the ride. Okay, so did anyone come in? Does anyone want to come in on a reading? If that's a no, that's cool. But if anyone wants to come in and say anything to the Moon Lords, jump into the chat or jump into the Zoom call. Okay. Is there any questions for us? Let us know. Right now, we have another 20 minutes before we get off the live, so any questions will be need to be asked soon. Okay, need to be asked soon. Okay, so
they were really. They're trying hard to push AMC down, and they're really not getting a lot done. That's exciting.
Yeah, it really is. Let me see what else is happening in the stars. Let's look at AMC's chart real quick. Actually, you know what chart we should look at? We should look at GameStop's chart because we never look at it. Do you have GameStop's chart?
Yeah, I do.
Just out of curiosity, just see what we see.
I've been spending too much time with GameStop's chart, probably.
Hilarious. I believe it. Especially
not enough with AMC. That's like what I came up with over the weekend because I was looking. AMC actually does have. They had a North Node Uranus contact, and the North Node is about to shift degrees and come out of that. I think today is the last day that they've had it. So it's really, I was going to go back and look through those dates, but I think they've had some pretty strong price action, and that's actually been a really good one for them.
Nice. Let's look at AMC real quick then. Leonard Rashad said he's down to collaborate on some music. Yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
We should make a music channel in the Discord for the MoonLords who want to be in the MoonLords mixtape. That's gonna be so fire. And I know we have a lot of producers in here, so we'll be able to make some beats, all that good stuff. Okay, so AMC right now has the moon exactly opposite Neptune. So to me, for our earnings call, we're going to be finding out some information we didn't know about before, okay? Because Neptune's in Pisces, that's going to deal with the unseen, the hidden world a little bit. The moon is in Virgo, looking at the details. So we're going to find out some nice little. We might get some tea later today on our earnings call. That's for sure. Let's see what else.
That's so crazy because that's also such a spiritually receptive transit. We just did probably the best thing for AMC's metaphysical well-being that we could have done. That's exactly the sort of energy that a Neptune moon opposition would be asking for.
Exactly. And what I really extremely like for today is the transiting Mercury in the sky is trying the sun of AMC 0 degrees, okay? So talk about getting some good information. And AMC's sun is sextiling Jupiter and is trine Mercury. That's really nice energy for some positive expansion-like energy as well. And I do think we're going to hear something about legal matters, justice for AMC, getting the hit by Jupiter and Mercury, because Mercury likes to deal with the details, and Jupiter likes to have justice, and the sun likes to be in power, likes to be exactly where it wants to be, and the AMC sun for today is lit. Facts. Super lit. And even the moon is doing pretty good. I know I went over this a little bit in the monthly reading, but a weekly reading, but I'm still going to look. Oh, Neptune is trine AMC midheaven 0 degrees, okay? And it still has the square of Mercury that it's had for months, but it now just went into a trine to the midheaven. And again, we're taking care of things behind the scenes, and it looks like we're going to be very creative with how we do that and how we structure the company going forward. Getting a Neptune trine to the midheaven, that's, to me, if I had a Neptune trine my midheaven transit, I'm going to be feeling more creative for how I want to be out in the world. I'm going to have more creative ideas on how to get what I want. The manifestation energy is going to be more powerful. So I do think we're going to take care of justice. We're going to be finding out some information we didn't know. And I also think that AMC is going to be revealing something creative that they're going to do going forward for the company today. You heard it here first, okay? Do you agree with all that stuff, Emily?
I do. And I think that we've also noticed a couple of times that Neptune is such an important planet for AMC, especially because Neptune does rule the movies. AMC is like under the rulership of Neptune, and we've definitely caught like really big moments for AMC that happened with beneficial Neptune contacts. So that's all really exciting.
Yeah. Havana says short interest is over 16%. Utilization is at 95. They are running out of ammunition to fight it. Did Adam Aaron consult a?
You can feel it, right? You can look at the chart and be like, this is not the normal vim and vigor you guys always have. You're not doing anything here.
And short interest at 16%. I'm liking that number.
Damn.
I'm liking that number, and that's like a conservative number at that. And utilization at 95. I can't wait for that to be 100 again, because I'm pretty sure when we went to 70 it was at 100. So yeah, we're on our way. I'm sure they're being dumb and just doubling down like they normally do. Havana says that Adam Aaron consulted an astrologist when he moved this earnings call. What's really funny?
Because we're on the other side of the Lionsgate. I think yes. And there's a couple of times that I've like really caught Adam Aaron having moments where I was just like, you're talking to somebody. Like, I definitely think that he has an astrologer, and he has utilized it more times than once in his communications and when he's doing it.
Yeah, and one thing he said when he first went on TV, or maybe it was the second time, he was like, Godzilla's coming out, and Godzilla did really good, and he was like, Godzilla did really good, and that was probably because of the apes, and he was like, that's an omen to me. And when he said that, I was like, yeah, this guy is into the psychic energy, he's into the omens, okay? Because all we do when we're reading astrology is we're looking for omens, and all we're doing when we look at a chart and we see a cup and handle, that's an omen for how we think the price action is going to play out. Okay, omens are everywhere.
It's all pattern recognition.
Right.
It's all being able to read that. And
Okay, I think we may have lost Emily for a second there. You guys let me know if we lost Emily. Okay, Emily, we lost you for a second there. That last part you said. It looks like you're back though.
Oh, am I back on?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I think my internet just went a little crazy. No, I mean, there's people that either have like astrologers or they're just really in tune with planetary energy. And anytime you see people getting to like very prominent positions, it's usually somebody who can like pick up those vibes that are being sent to them, whether it's spelled out or not, and ends up in the right place at the right time. Like, we've had this conversation before about Trey's trades, like, because there are totally times where every time he makes a call that's going bullish or whatever, he's always sort of like in the pocket of where the astrology would say like that works, like that totally fits. And I don't think that he's using an astrologer, although I think he's super respectful of those energies, and that's cool. But he you can tell he just channels it. He feels it.
He's a Cancer.
It comes in a different way, but like he definitely, it works through him. Like, the planets deliver their messages, and he always knows which ones need to be broadcast.
Yep. Trey, if you guys don't know, he's a Cancer, and Cancer is ruled by the moon. So one thing everyone will tell you about a Cancer is, since the moon rules emotions and is always moving quickly through the signs, they always hit different energies. They have like mood swings, but they're very passionate / emotional people. I think it's all fair to say, the people who've been following Trey, it's all fair to say he's kind of emotional. He's kind of in his feelings a little bit. I am too. I'm a Pisces. He's a fellow water sign like me, so I'm not hating on the guy. There's nothing wrong with being in tune with yourself, right? And it's actually very powerful to show that vulnerability to the world too. So he's actually very powerful for that, because Cancers are they're a crab, and they like to hide in their shell. They like to feel safe at home. So for him to expose himself like that, that's a powerful guy. And I have a lot of respect for that, because you guys will never fucking see me crying on fucking anything, okay? I'm crying in secret and dark. You guys are never going to see a tear coming from me. But Trey is super in tune with the moon, okay? You know I am too. He is vibing with the moon because he's ruled by the moon, okay? So when he's high energy, the AMC stock, because it's traveling with the moon, he is also high energy, right? And for the guys that haven't understood this yet, not every stock moves with the moon, okay? The stocks have to qualify for that, meaning they IPO'd on a moon phase, whether it was a full moon, new moon. I've seen things where they IPO'd on like on a quarter moon, and you can kind of make predictions based on that, but they have to qualify for that type of moon phase movement, right? So I call myself the Blue Moon Neptune. You know, Trey is a Cancer. He's also a ruled by the moon, and we both kind of gravitated towards this AMC stock. Like we kind of just like fell into it type thing, and I think that's very, very, very interesting. But yeah, I do think that's part of the reason why he's always on point with his predictions, because AMC's traveling with the moon. He's a moon guy.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
And Adam Aaron, he has a lot of Scorpio energy, and we have a ton of moon.
He's a Scorpio moon too, right? We were talking about this. Like, there's definitely, man, he has that Jupiter Uranus. Adam has some astrology, but like I remember we had a conversation about that on the Discord, because there's a fair few people that like get like sort of like suspicious vibes, or don't know if he's trustworthy. And I kind of feel like we can just go ahead and say he's a Scorpio moon. He's got his secrets from us. There is shit that he will take to his grave that we will never, ever, ever get from that man's mouth. But I do think overall his intentions are benign. Like he's like, working in everybody's best interest.
I remember when we first were looking at his chart on the on a live we did like at the very beginning of this channel. We're looking at Adam Aaron's chart, and we were like, man, this guy, his chart's crazy. He has like Venus in Scorpio. He had the moon in Scorpio. He has like, I want to say 2 other things in Scorpio. And I was like, this guy's a fucking killer. He knows how to paint a picture. He's also Libra rising, so he knows how to be charming to the public and stuff like that. And I was like, we gotta see what side of the fence he's on, because I also remember saying that him and what's his name, Ken Griffin could be like best friends based on their charts. They can either be best friends or like the biggest enemies, but we're not going to know yet, because Ken also has a lot of Scorpio energy as well. But I think it's fair to say that Adam and Ken are definitely enemies, and they're both at war with each other, and it might be very unspoken behind the scenes, but neither one of them plans on losing. Okay, and
we're the adversaries, dude. Those two are like built for each other. I mean, I'm not a Ken Griffin fan. I'm never going to bet on him. But for somebody who has like the grit to unnerve Ken, especially because he has so much Virgo shit, he doesn't have the gift of connection that Adam has. That's got to be freaking him out so bad to see him be able to like tap into all of this energy and like actually have an audience like the apes. Because even if like, I feel like Ken Griffin's chart shows a man who, even if he had all of the fans in the world and this like was adoration going on his side, like he wouldn't know how to participate in it like that. Like Adam has the Jupiter Uranus conjunction in Cancer, okay? Like this is somebody who knows how to fight from the middle of the pack, from inside the family, how to handle himself in one of those large, like loving, sort of warm, like situations. Which I think is so crazy because he's like a businessman. Like we get so weird in like the comments on his tweets. Like there's always people like, run my car, like run me over with your car and fuck my wife, or like some weird nonsense, like all the crazy things that we say. And he just totally takes it on the chin. Like not everybody is capable at all of like having that much, and he's always been respectful and a big fan of the audience, like it's not something that turns him off or sends him away. He's a special guy. He has a special chart. We know that much.
And what I like about Adam too is his sons, I guess, are like around like Trey's age or just around the apes ages, and I guess his sons were what told him about Trey, and that's when Adam reached out to Trey to do the live stream and whatnot. But that just tells you how in sync Adam is with the younger people, with his own kids, and it sounds like his own kids are for us, for the apes, right? So that's just more power to us. And Adam, I said this before, he's super strategic. He's super, super, super strategic. He's the type of guy who doesn't show his sword until he's ready to chop your head off. You know what I'm saying? And so, I have full-blown confidence in that guy. I'm very excited for this earnings call today. I think it's going to go absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely. Havana says he's a very lovable person, much like Trey's genuine and wholesome. Now, I will say something.
You know what I think it is with with the two of them, and I love this placement. My husband has this as well. They both have Libra Mars. And it is such a lovely, like, unspoken Mars placement because you have these really, like, just beautiful manners, one. Totally gracious, like, that is a gentleman's placement. And I just, like, love how they're both, like, so respectful in everything that they do. Like, you can kind of get that energy. And they know how to deal with each other, too. Like, Libra Mars, like, knows the importance of diplomacy in battle.
Right.
Like, that's one thing that they both get in a big way that, like, you know, there's only so many bridges that you can burn before you've, like, won something that's not worth ruling.
Right.
And I really see, like, the big picture in all of them. And I like how they interact, too. They have such a sweet chemistry.
Yeah. And the fact that they have Mars and Libra is they're always weighing out their decisions before they take action on something. They're always looking at both sides of the spectrum. Okay, so these are people who aren't really compulsively making mistakes. You know who's compulsively making mistakes all day with their chart? That would be Mr. Ken Griffin. Mr. Ken Griffin has a debilitated Saturn in Aries, and let me tell you, when I say debilitated Saturn in Aries is a person who will make compulsive decisions, compulsive, ignorant decisions at that. Now, Saturn Aries person is also very, very powerful because they have unbelievable conviction, unbelievable willpower, okay? Mars or Aries is all about war and passion and drive, okay? So that guy has all that stuff. But Saturn and Mars makes you Saturn and Aries makes you, you know, lack of a better word, potentially extremely fucking arrogant. And I do think Ken is he's probably already made the bad move, but I think he's gonna continue to make bad moves until he buries himself based on that one aspect.
Can't stop at all. It's so funny because Ken's chart, like, totally shows, like, exactly the kind of person. I haven't pulled him up in a while, but I remember seeing things being like, yeah, he would be the one to come up with an automated, like, stock trading system. Doesn't he have some kind of, like, Mercury Uranus contact that just showed, like, something that was just, like, super high speed, explosive kind of, you know, why he would be coming up with this. But my favorite Ken Griffin piece of whatever, I think this is so hysterical that we do this. He has, like, Mars, Pluto, and Jupiter and Virgo, right? Am I remembering that? Are you seeing it?
I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so he has Mars, Pluto, Jupiter, Uranus, all in Virgo. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing with that. So we call him Shitadel, right? We have so many memes of him shitting his pants. Virgo is known as a sign of gastric distress. With Pluto, the sign really, like, plumbing and excrement and all that kind of stuff. Jupiter, the sign of, or, like, the embiggening, and explosive Uranus in there. Like, there's no chance that he doesn't have Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis or something else. Yeah. So when we're sitting back telling jokes and saying, like, he's shitting his pants right now, he probably was. Like, those are exactly the placements that I would look for to see something like that. And I can't even believe I said it. I've been holding on to that forever because I'm like, okay, that's too disrespectful. But, like, that was the first thing I saw when I looked at his chart. Like, we just knew, like, as a collective, we knew, like, where to hit him the hardest.
Hilarious. But I think this is oh my gosh. So this is a perfect example on how debilitated planets can give you really good results. Because obviously the guy's successful. Obviously the guy made a lot of money. Okay, he has a Saturn debilitated in Aries. Okay, he has a Sun debilitated in Libra, and his Venus debilitated in Scorpio. So again, guys, do not look at debilitation as any type of weakness, because a lot of times that makes you work harder than everyone else to get whatever you're trying to get. Okay, and it also allows you to see things from perspectives that a lot of people can't see. Okay, but at the same time, it can also fuck you up eventually, right? So it does look like for Ken, it is catching up to him, but he is a good example of someone who has a lot of debilitation, especially the money planet of Venus, and look what he did with his life.
Real quick AMC update, the hedgies are freaking the fuck out. They're shorting this like 10 cents at a time right now to push it down. And I don't know why, but when they start doing this, it gets me so freaking hyped because this is absolute sheer panic. Like, you can just see it. and they're trying to get, like, this is no kind of a sell-off. This isn't happening in real life. And look how quickly it's flipping back. Are you watching this?
It's like goofy.
They are like absolutely out of control right now. They cannot even keep a lid on like the buying pressure that's trying to come through.
It's at this point the only people selling are that are people who are not educated and who haven't been that are new pretty much. I don't see unless people are selling to take care of themselves and their family. Like no one's like getting shooked out at $35 right now. Nobody's taking profits. Maybe day traders, but not like that. You know what I mean? So to me, it's just complete bullshit.
Every single sale you see like comes in like 4 or 5 cents short, you know, like why are apes sitting around like specifically going out of their way to sell their shares for 5 cents less than they're worth on the market? It's not happening. Like it's just like it gets so blatant after a certain point. You just watch it all pour in, you know, and I don't know. I just really like watching them sweat. I do. I think they deserve it. And whenever they start really like, that's money. That's money that they're like giving up on. Every time they sell a share short, you know, it's however much they lost on it. And they can't get it down where they need to go.
Yeah. And does anyone know exactly what time the earnings call is today? If you do, just drop it in the chat because I'm curious myself. But yeah, I hope you guys are planning on watching the prices after hours because to me it's going to continue to rip. And if it doesn't rip, it's manipulation. But if we get some crazy numbers, like how are they going to stop it? I mean, if AMC...
They can't.
Yeah, if AMC comes back with some stupid profits, I think that might bring in the institution money. You know what I mean? Or more institution money. And that's just going to take things to another level at that point.
Totally.
Okay, so we're hitting 4 o'clock. So I want to shout out Emily again for her amazing calls she's been doing lately on Bitcoin and GameStop. Also, you guys need to check out her site because she's posting really, really extremely good blog articles that is making astrology really easy to understand. Okay, and she's actually giving visuals. She's a great writer. I do suggest if anyone's like wants to go a little bit deeper, because you know I'm a Pisces. I'm not writing down shit for you guys. I just say it on the fucking computer and I say it live and that's that. But Emily really does like that Mercury work because she is a Gemini. She does a lot of that Mercury work and she puts a lot of time in her analysis. And I do suggest you guys check out her blog. Go ahead and shout out your site, Emily, and your Twitter and anywhere else that people can find you on.
Okay, well, most important right now, because there's shout-outs going back way, my site is lovemoneyvenus.com, and I totally encourage you all to go over and take a look, because I have a new site that Jason just built for me that is so beautiful. Like, I can't stay off of it. It's gorgeous, it flows. I didn't even know he could do that, but apparently he is also an expert, like, site crafter on top of so many other, like, hidden skills, and the skills that he has out in public in front of you, but I still love it.
Thank
it
you.
is like the best.
And
I'm really like, I hope you all go and take a look at his work because it's really good.
But more importantly, go take a look at her blog, her content, because that's really where it's at, okay? And part of the reason why I was so happy to do her site is because I read her blog beforehand, and I was like, wow, this is, like, I could see her blogs being famous one day after this squeeze has happened because her predictions are so on point. Her style of writing and her clarity of what she's saying is so on point that her blogs are really, really good. Trust me on that. And go ahead and shout out your Twitter, Emily, and whatever else platform they can follow you on.
Yeah, you can find me Astro for Apes at Imogen, and I am always on Twitter. I'm also on the Discord. Come join us if you're not already there. I'm at M is for Magic. I always love getting messages through that. And those are pretty much all the places that you'll find me like all the time because I do this almost 24/7 right now. So I'm easy to get a hold of through one of those things.
Yeah, and if you guys want a reading by her, check her out on her site too because I get readings from Emily and she really is on point. I wouldn't say that if I didn't mean it. Her readings are on point. She has
He's actually telling the truth with this one. This is my biggest bummer because some of the best predictions that I've done that I can't talk to you about because they're Jason's private business have been with Jason.
Yeah.
Because I really did hammer like a couple of I got a couple of things right that made me like believe in myself all over.
I mean, you got some major accurate. It was more than just like you were right. Like you were like on point.
And
Crazy.
I'm so glad too. I mean, like, as far as developments for your life, like, I couldn't be more pleased. I think it's all just wonderful news. But that's the awesome part about having an astrologer, whoever you go with, is that you have somebody that can help you, like, foreshadow sort of things that you can be facing, and you have somebody who can kind of walk through them with you too, you know, and be able to speak that language and see as things are growing and developing or challenging you, and like help you kind of like make your next calls.
Yes, yes. So Emily, thank you so much for joining me on the stream. Always amazing.
Thank you for having me. This has been so much fun, guys. I'm so glad you all showed up. Like, we got to do this more often. I love these candle circles.
Yeah, it definitely works. I appreciate each and every one of you MoonLords that are here. You guys know I do. I just got done moving, so I'm going to be around more. I'm finally settled in. It's been a journey, but hey, that's life. So anyway, thank you so much, Emily, for coming in. You guys are watching The Market MoonLord, where we merge the matrix with motherfucking stars. I'm your host, Jason Alexander, Blue Moon and Neptune, here to help you navigate through the illusions of life. Until next time, peace. See you, Emily.
Bye.
We killed it.